welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Incursio the Gamer video. So, I have been hooked on a game that I unfortunately haven't been recording or streaming, known as Limbus Company. And within Limbus Company, you follow the storyline of, through the 12 Sinners. You are Dante, and you are going through, you could say Dante's Inferno. But anyways, in the game there are 12 sinners. One of the sinners is known as Don Quixote, also known as Sancho. And here I have a Dungeons and Dragons character of Don Quixote from Limbus Company. So as you can see here, stat distribution, prioritizing strength and dexterity because of her ability to wield a lance. Constitution, high health, high charisma. She's a very interesting fellow. As for low intelligence with wisdom, she isn't the most intelligent of the sinners. I would probably give that to like Faust, Meursault, or maybe even Yisang. But here are the saving throws. I had the proficiency in strength saving throws, even though I'm a paladin. Also, this is the new updated version of paladin. This is from DND 1. I have this from resilient. +2 on saves, of course, from aura of protection. I chose the paladin subclass of, if we scroll down here, I believe it was Oath of Conquest. It is, I believe, quite fitting for Don Quixote. We have Seno Impossible, or the Impossible Dream, a lance. And the backup version, in case the lance breaks in combat, would be, say, a javelin of sorts. But in Canto 7 would be the Blood Lance. Ignoring all of that for now, we have all of the attack traits and our bonus actions now. So 2-weapon fighting, a couple of spells. Of course, Divine Smite is going to be the first option. And Lay on Hands, of course. Lay on Hands, I would flavor that as some sort of heroism. Imbuing the heroism into allies, or even straight up using the blood to heal her father, Don Quixote, or the original Blood Fiend, the first kindred. It'd be a little bit interesting, but flavor that how you will. Reactions, opportunity attack, of course, detect magic ritual spell, and over here are the interesting parts. Channel Divinity, Conquering Presence. Now, this could be flavored as, you all remember, the warp train in Limbus Company, where Don Quixote turned into Sancho and scared the crap out of that Blood Fiend. That would pretty much be Conquering Presence. Next would be Guided Strike, +10 bonus to hit. That would be the equivalent of proccing Ego, pretty much. For those of you who don't know, that would be using an ego skill, using an alternative version. Instead of using a different identity, it's using ego based off of usually monsters of sorts. It's kind of funky monkey. Anyways, the abilities aren't all that great. Dex based ones are the best, and strength, of course. We have some proficiencies here. And as for our spells, now we go into our first level spells. Paladins don't get cantrips, unfortunately, but that's alright. We have Bless, Detect Magic, Divine Favor, Divine Smite, of course, 1 free a day, Heroism, and Shield of Faith. We continue downwards. Second level spells, you have 2 slots. You have Bless, Divine Smite, Fine Steed, Heroism, Shining Smite. Now, once a day, you get Fine Steed for free. I renamed that as Onward Rocinante, because in the book, or the movie, if you will, Don Quixote is an older gentleman, and he finds his compatriot Sancho, and Don Quixote's horse is named Rocinante. Sancho does ride a donkey. However, in this case, Don Sancho Quixote would be this girl here. Her name is Sancho. There is, however, another man named Don Quixote himself, and he is the original Don Quixote. However, as she forgot her memories as she bathed in the river Leve, she does find Don Quixote's name on Rocinante and thinks that is her own name. It is a wonderful little story. Inventory, we have chain mail, Seno Impossible, the backup, a shield. Now, of course, you can always get rid of this shield, play a little more into character. You could also take away this chainmail if you really wanted to. A low armor class makes sense. She gets hit often. However, if you really want to flavor it as such, you could put the shield on or the chainmail on. Me, on the other hand, the lance. Now, Some of you might be wondering, well, why the lance? Lance is a pretty bad weapon, isn't it? Well, I did add a little homebrew feat that was allowed in pretty much all my campaigns uh, due to DM discretion. Other DMs allowed it into their campaigns. Lance Master. Now I have resilient, alert, and great weapon fighting from paladin, criminal feat, and or criminal background, and variant human race. This basically says that when you move more than 20 feet before taking attack action, your attacks with lances deal an additional 1d10 damage. Lance does 1d10 damage anyways. When you score a critical hit with a lance, the creature falls prone and drops anything it is holding. Lastly, the most important part, creatures within 5 feet of you do not impose disadvantage. Apologies. This is the most important part, because Don Quixote is extremely strong. In game, and in lore especially, she is so strong that she's able to use a lance one-handed and still be able to puncture the skulls of abnormalities and distortions, etc., from such a short range. That is her strength. We go into the background from the criminal, quote-unquote. Remember, she did sort of burn herself to try and warm herself up, to get that feeling of warmth that she was denied her entire life. We have Con and Dex. That would pretty much be from getting the Blood Fiend powers, from becoming the second kindred. She is lawful good, of course, Don Quixote at least. Sancho is another case. A female with brownish yellow hair, medium size, 5'4", 118. I didn't know what to put as weight, but she's got to be packing some sort of muscle to be able to carry that whole ass lance. Age-wise, in actuality, 200 or so, but we're going to make this a little more realistic. The way she acts, so on and so forth. Faith in the Fixers, yellow hair, pale white skin. Appearance, of course, you have the entire appearance down here. She's a short young woman with bright yellow blonde hair and a bob cut and deep sparkling hazel eyes. She wears the Limbus Company uniform and has various Fixer merchandise coating her. Additionally, she has these dirty boots, the shoes, which she calls Rocinante. They are running shoes, and they are pretty much invincible, indestructible. I mean, I'm not entirely sure, but they are very dirty, and she never takes them off. That's unfortunate, but oh well. We go into notes. This thing was for the campaign. A variant human apparently says that you get 2 free stat points in whatever stats you choose. It didn't give them to me. I would put them in strength otherwise, but I didn't. So here we are. Lastly, extras, we have Rocinante. Based off the spell, right here, Onward Rocinante, or Fine Steed, we have all the stat blocks. AC is 10 plus the spell level, 1 per. HP is 5 plus 10 per spell level. Has 60 feet of movement. Here are all the stats, etc., all these moves, right? What I decided to do was, well, instead of going on here, calling it a, normal large elemental, I decided to give it all of its stats here, which are based off the spell, the traits, the actions, the bonus actions. It was pretty straightforward. I based it off the Rocinante she would technically have in Limbus Company, but she doesn't have it because we only ever see it once. She puts the shoes back on after Canto 7. Now, I had a lot of fun creating Don Quixote, or Sancho, if you will. She was a very interesting character. I love Limbus Company, and Don Quixote is amazing. We have that high strength, a decent amount of HP, a paladin class, of course, because she's a righteous fixer to be. She wants to be a fixer, and, aspiring to be something greater than you already are, as she is, of course, in the Limbus Company, but wants to be something greater. It's inspiring. But yeah, here we have it. This is Don Sancho Quixote. I really enjoy making these sorts of D&D kind of character sheets. I'm heavily inspired off of Talio Tales, however. Go check him out. I will leave his channel in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye and good night. I'll see you guys around. Thanks for watching.